my first hot stuff recommendation is by the magnificent St. Vincent. The album is called All Born Screaming. I guess the question I want to know is, are we finally getting to see the real Annie Clarke? Historically, she's almost done this, trying to create these alter egos, a bit like Bowie. But for me, she's delivered one of her best albums, if not her best. It's restlessly inventive and just packed with ideas. I think Clarke herself described some parts of the albums, the music is a pummeling, because of a really thrilling, loud guitar, playing at its most distorted and sort of Berlin Bowie-esque throughout, and said the sound's been influenced by the music of her teens, including Tori Amos and Nine Inch Nails, and you definitely hear splinters of that throughout this album, but that's no bad thing. You might also add a bit of grunge. There's a kind of plethora of quiet, loud lurches in the dynamics, and Mr. Grohl, Dave Grohl himself, plays drums on Flea and A Broken Man. And there's a real Bond theme contender with the track Violent Times. When I heard it, I was like, whoa, you could just see this coming up on a Bond film. That said, the music on All Born Scream is almost too, restless and packed with ideas to count as 90s revivalism. You're equally likely to encounter a sudden burst of soft rock on this, some almost like Zapperish electro funk, a neatly done exploration of reggae's weird sense of space, or like an epic Baba O'Reilly synth arpeggio, as you are a thunderous industrial rhythm. Nothing stays in one place for long on this album, which is why I bloody love it, including Clarke's voice, which shifts from a spectral, almost Kate Bush type presence to then mushes words into incomprehensibility on the opener, Hell Is Near, to almost painfully in your face on Reckless. I think what really ties this album together and makes it so special to these ears is her beautifully honed skill as a songwriter. People like David Byrne don't work with everyone. And as you probably remember, he got together with her about 8 or 9 years ago, did some amazing stuff with her. But for all the sonic uproar, the melodies are just impossible to miss. It's a really melodic album. And so is the personality she imprints across the album. I mean, she's kind of troubled, but very self-aware. She's funny. The doubts and fears and worries she expresses completely at odds with the confidence of her approach to risk-taking, shape-shifting music. For me, this is really a great example of genuinely genius at work. It's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Love and nail yourself back to me. If you go, I won't be well. I can hold my arms wide open, but I need you to drive the nail. Like, what are you looking at? Well, who the hell do you think I am? Hey, what are you looking at?
Collect and Reject is the fourth full-length album by the French duo Dia Dia, released in 2022, a couple both on and off stage. Their sound is a crossroads of pop, art rock, electro and new wave, abstract with sharp angular guitars reminiscent of the band Wire, a glamorous glittery aesthetic of sustained disco rhythms with bass synths and edgy multi-track vocals chucked in throughout. The album features two parts, Collect and Reject. Each part features 5 songs. The first part sounds more dark wave and post-punk, while the second part is the same with extra electronics on top. A great sound with male and female vocals alternating but combined as a duo. Thanks goes to friend of the EC and all-round top bloke Eon Ballinger for the heads up on this one, and he also assures me that they are a brilliant act to catch live as well. If you like your electronic music arty and edgy, definitely go check this one out.
And my second hot stuff is, I'm going to make an exception here. As you know, Mark and I are quite purists, and we only normally want to do albums that are available on vinyl. However, occasionally we do make exceptions, like we did with the fabulous X Into I by Eric and Johnny, aka Cult with No Name. This landed in my post box last week. It's by our good friends National Milk Bar, Jason and Sash, and they're back with their anxiously awaited second album, ELECTRO, and it's been well worth the wait, trust me. There's a real mix of kind of upbeat, ska-based tunes to some awesomely arranged, well-crafted pop gems on this album. I also love the fact that they've recorded some of the tracks in Welsh, and they all add up and blend in brilliantly to the overall feel of this album. It's quite rightly getting amazing reviews everywhere I look. And we were honoured to have these guys as our very first band to play live at Electronic Cafe Volume 1. It's a special place. They've got a very special place in our heart. And they're also two of the nicest people you could ever wish to meet. And funny enough, I bumped into JJ Jexelic, from the Grandmaster member of the Art of Noise, and he got involved with these guys because he met them at our gig, and he did some work for them, bless him. What an amazing man. But he commented to me at the gig I saw him at recently, that Sash has got a really distinctive voice, and she has. The other thing was, because we like these guys so much and we just wanted to get heard by more people, they kindly agreed to sign 100 copies only available to members of the Electronic Cafe in our group. So if you go on the Bandcamp link and order this brilliant album, if you in the messaging, if you just put Friends of Electronic Cafe or Electronic Cafe sent us, they'll send you a signed copy, not just the standard one, which is great. I say there's only 100 available. I'll ask my good buddy Mark to put a link at the bottom, which will be brilliant. Thank you, mate. But it's a great album, and for me, as I say, it's getting great reviews quite rightly, but it's got a real summer feel to it. But it's a great album for the summer, but obviously way beyond that. Absolutely loving this. Jason and Sash, you should be rightly proud of this. It's a brilliant album. Really big congrats to you both, and I just hope it's a massive success for you guys. But I say to everyone in Electronic Cafe, go on Bandcamp, get your signed copy. There's only 100 available, but well worth getting.
My second Hot Stuff album choice is this, Momentary Presence, the debut album released in 2022 by New York psychedelic quintet Gift, the band that Rolling Stone magazine calls a portal to another dimension. Their debut project has a sonic spectrum of electronica, krautrock, dream pop and new wave post-punk noise, a full swirling expansive palette of synthy, technicolor and shoegazy surprises. I know what you're thinking, there's a lot of adjectives there, but this is an album that is really hard to describe. The album stems from band leader TJ Frieder's years of anxiety, therapy and embracing the fleeting moments of beauty and being present and seizing the moment, and what a record it is. TJ Frieder assembled the band by cherry picking the band members from some of his favourite other bands, so they kind of came together fully formed. I came to this album late in the day myself, so if this appeals to you, go and check it out. Their new album Eliminator comes out this summer too.
There's nothing